Okay, so let's talk about something that might just change how you look at, well, your entire day. We're about to pull back the curtain on all these hidden rules of modern life, and you might be pretty surprised by what we find.
I mean, of course you do. You pay your taxes, you stop at red lights, you try to be a decent person. You follow all the big, obvious rules. But what about the little ones? The ones you can't even see?
And no, that's not an exaggeration. It's totally possible that by the time you're done with that first cup and your morning scroll, you've already stepped over a legal line you didn't even know existed. So let's get into it.
We'll start in the place we all spend a ton of our time, the digital world. This is where things get really, really interesting, because actions that feel completely normal can have some, well, very official-sounding names.
Come on, who hasn't done this? You share it with your parents, your old college roommate, a friend who's a few states away. It just feels like you're being generous, helping someone out. But legally speaking, it's a little more complicated than that.
And that complication has a name: unauthorized access. See, when your friend uses your login, they are technically accessing a protected service without permission. The company's terms of service, that's the rulebook here. And yeah, password sharing pretty much always breaks those rules. Okay, here's another one. You're at a friend's house, your phone signal is terrible, and you see their Wi-Fi network pop up, unlocked. You disconnect, right? No harm done. But again, if you didn't explicitly get permission, that's technically unauthorized access to their private network. So let's shift gears from just accessing a service to accessing someone's private life. This is a big one. Maybe it's curiosity, maybe it's suspicion. Whatever the reason, picking up someone's unlocked phone and scrolling through their DMs, that crosses a really fundamental line. And that line is a legal concept called invasion of privacy. The law actually recognizes that your digital messages are a private space, just like your physical mail. Going into that space without consent isn't just a breach of trust. It's a breach of a basic right. Next up, let's wander into what I like to call the copyright maze. This is a place where almost everybody gets a little bit lost. It's where your sense of humor and your favorite playlists can get you into some surprisingly hot water. You can really see the disconnect here between what we think we're doing and what the law says we're doing. On the one hand, you're just sharing a laugh, right? But on the other, the legal view is that if you don't own that image, sharing it could be seen as copyright theft. That sounds so serious, even if the action feels totally casual. I mean, just think about what that means for a second. Every time you retweet a cool video or post a photo from a quick Google search to your blog without getting permission, you're walking into some legally murky territory. The person who made that content has rights, and the law is there to protect them. And if you're a content creator, a YouTuber, a TikToker, anyone building a brand, this isn't just theoretical stuff. Using a popular song on your video or a clip from a movie could get your content yanked, your whole account deleted, or in some really serious cases, land you with some heavy fines. All right, let's step out of the digital world for a minute and back into the physical one. Because these invisible rules, they're not just online. They exist on the street, in your car, and even in how you try to make a buck. Think about this for a sec. Someone's just sitting in their own car, a space they see as private. Just like with private messages, they have what's called a reasonable expectation of privacy. So pulling out your phone and recording them without their consent, that could be a serious violation of that right. Now here's a scenario that might just seem like a clever side hustle. A huge concert is coming to town. You list some tickets for sale, planning to just buy them yourself and transfer them once you find a buyer. But here's the thing. Selling something you don't actually possess yet isn't just risky, it can literally be classified as fraud. And honestly, the list of these little legal tripwires just goes on and on. Using cracked software to avoid paying, that's illegal. Plus, it opens you up to all kinds of malware. Even something as simple as jaywalking can get you a ticket. And for anybody with a small business or a newsletter, collecting emails without consent can put you in violation of major privacy laws like GDPR. They're all super common actions with some surprisingly uncommon risks. Okay, at this point, you might be feeling a little paranoid, maybe rethinking every single thing you did today. But don't worry, let's take a deep breath and look at the big picture here. This is really the core idea. We're all just moving through a world that has this dense, complicated instruction manual that nobody ever actually gave us. Technology and social norms are changing so fast that the law is constantly trying to play catch-up, and that creates all these gray areas we live in. And really, everything we've talked about so far, it's just the tip of the iceberg. As you can imagine, there are dozens and dozens of other little rules out there. covering everything from minor traffic stuff to how you're supposed to recycle. Look, the point of all this isn't to scare you into never sharing a meme again. It's about empowering you with awareness. That's it. Understanding these invisible rules just helps you navigate this modern world a little more intelligently, a little more thoughtfully. It really is something to think about, isn't it? Knowing that the line between okay and not okay can sometimes be really blurry, and a lot of times completely invisible. So what small thing might you do differently now that you can see things just a little more clearly?